Good morning, folks, and welcome to another great edition of Money Truth Moments with our very own Money Truth expert and whisper, Judy Copenbarger. How are you?
I am awesome. Happy Tuesday morning to you. How are you, Carlos?
I'm doing fantastic. I've been looking forward to today's show. And, folks, if you're not following Judy, do so at Judy Copenbarger today because we have another great show. Make sure you follow the other episodes, share it with your friends, share it with your family members, share it with your business folks too, because there's a lot of great content as well too. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about your paycheck. And did you know that your paycheck actually has a job? Well, if you didn't, you're going to find out today. So what you're going to learn today is how to give your income a clear purpose, why leftover money often disappears without a spending plan. So what do you say we get started, Judy?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So most of us can tell how much our paycheck is, but could we actually explain what every part of that paycheck is supposed to accomplish? I can't.
Well, the dollars, by the time we get, if it's actually a paycheck, there's all those initials and all the dollars that are going away somewhere else, paying for the taxes and all the other who knows what. I had one the other day that had 17 monies that were going other places, that I was checking out.
Wow.
A client brought in. Yeah, 17. It's like, wow, all those different things. Now, some of them are for their future, retirement and, health care and things like that. But it's just amazing how you think you're going to get one paycheck and then what actually shows up in your bank account or in your bank is not the same. And so do we know not only what's coming in, but where it's going to go? So what I would propose to you more importantly is what we're assigning those dollars that actually end up in our bank account. What do we assign them to do? It's like we can give every dollar a role. What are those roles going to be? Is it about paying bills that we have right now? Is it about savings for the future? Is it about paying off debt? Is it for fun? We just want to have it in our spending plan, money for fun and all those things that make life great. Or is it for the long term future, legacy, and for a long term future? But I think it's really important. I'm a planner. I love to plan. I'm going to tell you, we got to do some of that. But when the dollars come in, if you already have an assignment for them, it'll make life so much easier. And that just takes a little bit of forethought and planning. You can do this.
Awesome. And let me follow up with just, you're normally just challenging the assumption, right? And what I mean by that is something that's come up is why do people tend to spend first and then save whatever happens to be left, after?
Oh, say that again.
So why do people tend to spend first and save whatever's
Oh,
left?
that's the
Yeah.
fun part. The spending is the fun part. And maybe not only just, the fun, what I want, but it's like what I need right now, right? I've got to pay, the mortgage on time or the rent on time. I've got to pay for gas in my car. I got to have groceries. The kids got to eat, right? Shoes on their feet. So we've got to do that. And so if there's anything left over, this is the problem. The mentality is if there's anything left over, then I'll save. And that is so upside down. What we want to do is, all those other important bills, like putting gas in the car and shoes on their feet and the rent and the mortgage. I think we should put ourselves, our future, right up there with one of those most important line items and pay ourselves first. So if you're starting this, it's like, but I've never done that. I've never had enough money at the end of the month, right? I've never had enough money left then. What do I do with that? You've got to put yourself first. When you do that, it will always be enough. It's kind of like if you wake up and you do something, the hardest thing that you have to do today, do it first thing, then it's done and the rest of your day's a breeze, right? Get it over with first. Put the big rocks in first. Fill your time with the most important things first. All the rest will work its way out. People, for some reason, financially, if they're not trained to do this or haven't had their own practice to do this, they tend to just say, well, whatever's left, then I'll save it. You got to save first. It's just as important as all these other things. If you don't have the money right now, you're in a bottleneck, it's a little tight right now. There will be a time when you have more money. You'll either have a raise, you'll change your job, you'll increase the revenue in your business, whatever it is, more money will come in. Trust me, it will. It's an ebb and a flow, right? More money will come in. When it does, allocate, and that's what we're going to talk about. How do you give roles to these dollars that are coming in? How do you use them wisely? When the money comes in, and you get a raise, half of the raise goes toward this future paying yourself, and the other half goes towards, oh, I get to increase my lifestyle or take the pressure off or cover some debt that I've been wanting to get caught up with. So there's so many ways to do this. But anyway, let's go ahead. I know you have another question waiting for me.
I do. And you know what? As a matter of fact, we're going to come back to an example I want to talk to you about saving those pennies in the jar and all that good stuff too. So I want to get to that. Folks, if you're just joining us, welcome. Please make sure you're following Judy at judycopenbarger.today. We're having another phenomenal show talking about your paycheck has a job, but most of us don't know what it's supposed to do. So do you know where your dollar is going? And that's what we're discussing. So make sure if you're just tuning in, watch the beginning of the show. So let me ask you this. So what happens when people earn a good income, but never give that income a clear purpose? And I know that happens to a lot of us.
It poofs. It's just like it's just gone. When you don't have a plan, it's just gone. If you don't have a plan for your day, it's just gone, right? So it's just a matter of planning, being intentional, and there's definitely a strategy to being intentional.
And I'm going to ask you, is poof one of those legal terms that we always talk about?
Yeah, that was year 2 in law school when we were L2. Yeah. It's like poof, you know what it means. It's in your pocket,
Yeah.
then it's not. It's in your bank account. Where'd it go? I don't know. And in most marriages, one or the other has had that experience, maybe repeatedly. I've been here before. Poof. Yeah. It is definitely a legal term, probably a financial term as well.
There you go. So folks, we are actually midway through our show and we have something what's called the Money Minute Money Myth. And today that is, I'll start saving when I make more money.
Yeah.
Talk to
Yeah,
us
that
about that.
doesn't work. That doesn't work. The money truth is that money doesn't automatically just show up. It doesn't just save itself. You have to have a plan. Without your plan, spending will grow right along with the income, right? You'll just level up. I made more, now I'll spend more. And sometimes I made more psychologically, you'll spend even more because there's going to be taxes and other things that, there's a net and gross are not the same. And so psychologically, you want to be ready. I got a raise. Yay. That's going to pay me for now and for my future. I always talk about now, soon, and later. When money comes in, you always want to plan for now, soon, and later. Give yourself a little break now. It's like, oh, I can do a little extra here. I can now get that upgrade my gym membership, or I can do something special, put those special seat covers in my car, or, do something, maybe get a nicer apartment, whatever. But you always want to have some set aside for your goals in the future and your long-term future, now, soon, and later.
Awesome. So I'm going to follow up and ask you, so if Judy was helping someone assign jobs to a paycheck, what categories should come first?
Yeah. Should it be cash reserves? Should it be long-term savings? Should it be increasing current lifestyle? Should it be enhancing quality of life? The fun stuff. It's one of those law school answers. Again, it depends. It really does depend. And when we work with clients in our firm, we work with a financial roadmap that really is intensely designed around goals in alignment with values of people. So some people might have a value of, hey, I want to make sure my securest future. I want to make sure that I leave an inheritance to my kids and grandkids. Others might be, I really need to increase my lifestyle. I got to get out of this neighborhood. We got to get to another place. We got to move closer to our grandkids. We've got to get into a better place right now. Maybe it's not about the future. It's just right now we've got a crisis. Maybe we want to bring one of the spouses home to raise the kids for a while, right? So to do that, we're going to have to adjust something. So now we need it right now. We need cash reserves. Maybe it's debt repayment. I just got to get out from under this IRS debt and these credit card debts. And we had a transition in our family, transition in our life. And when transition happens financially in your life, credit cards happen, lines of credit happen, and you end up with this line item of debt that increases. We got to get that down. We got to get it off of us. We can't breathe financially. So everybody's going to be different where you are. And even if you have a set goal and a set priority of how to allocate your dollars right now, that will change. It will change because different seasons of life financially will impact the goals that you have. So I hate to not give you like a straight answer, like this is what you
Uh,
should do first. It's going to be different. Some people get the debt off. Some people, I need to increase my lifestyle now. Some people are, I just want to save for the future. Obviously, the goal is for all of those things to happen, over time, but you can't do all of them by Tuesday. Most of the time, when clients start implementing with us, you can't do it all by Tuesday. It's going to be a systematic process. And that's where we really help people. What are the priorities? What do we need to do for your life, for you? How are we going to roll it out? How long is it going to take? And how are we going to get there? That's the master financial roadmap, right? So it just depends, but those are the main categories for sure.
so, we always love to hear some of your experiences with clients and all that. So what is one client, maybe recent or from a while ago, that you can think of that you actually went through their paycheck and you really kind of rip that band-aid off their eyes and say, wow, this
Mhm.
is, where everything's going and all of that.
I just did this. I mentioned the one that had 17 things. This was a government employee getting ready to retire. And it's like, okay, what are we putting away? What can we do in the last couple of years to really optimize this tax wise and for legacy, and for the future goals? And so it's just a matter of what are we going to do with the paycheck now? So, what this employee decided to do is buy down time. When you're a public employee, the more years you have, if you hit those benchmarks, the more retirement, your check will be higher for the rest of your life, right? And so we actually worked on paying to buy extra time, which government and public employees will allow you to do that. School teachers, can do that, educational folks. So we use part of that money to buy down. So part of the paycheck now has this new line item that's going to go toward that future retirement money to get the retirement money up. So, and then how do we do that? And then do we withhold taxes or not? How do we handle all that? So, and then do we maximize the HSA account? That's the health savings account. Those are amazing, by the way. If you're not taking advantage of that and you have an opportunity in your business or at work, look at that. What that does is it takes all of your healthcare costs that you spend out of pocket and it makes them not taxable. It's a tax-free program. So HSA is great. So anyway, this employee, as she's preparing for retirement, we're going to load up that HSA. So in the coming 3, 4, 5 years, all of those expenses to go to the dentist, to go to the doctor, buy Band-Aids, whatever it is, co-payments will be covered without having to pay tax on that money. So it's pretty cool. If we can get that up to 25, 30,000, that's fantastic. So that's just a recent example of what you can do with a paycheck. But I think for most people in a regular kind of cycle of life, just going through the rhythm of the money comes in, I need to spend it. I think it's just a matter of looking at your paycheck, looking at the dollars you have. It's getting true and a true sense of your spending plan. Some people call that the B word, budget, right? I don't like budget. It sounds like diet, like what I can't have, right? It's spending plan, what I get to spend. An eating plan is what I get to eat, right? So having a really good sense of that, just really true, what am I actually spending? What do I actually need? Not just want and wish, but what do I really need? Where should the dollars go to make that happen for me? And you get that down and you are going to be golden. Give each dollar a roll. Every dollar gets a roll.
Folks, there's a lot of great content. If you're not following Judy, please do so at judycopenbarger.today. I want to keep moving because I know we're going to run out of time. It's always like fun subjects, right? So very simple question is, how do we enjoy money today with really, without sacrificing tomorrow?
It's having that balance. And again, it comes down to just planning. What do I absolutely need right now? And when you're working on your spending plan, there's fixed expenses and flexible expenses. The flexible ones are ones that you can, maybe do without or do less of. And you can cut those down 10%, 20%. That's going to be things like clothing and entertainment and things that are, decorating your house, things like that. I don't really need it, but boy, it's nice. It makes life nicer. And there's always room there. And we've got several shows, that can help people really drill down there. But it's just a matter of allocating that, right? And just having a plan and executing the plan.
So I'm going to take a moment and ask the uncomfortable question, right? That people can ask. And for me, it's if your last paycheck could talk, what would it say you cared about the most? So I'm
Oh.
going to start by answering you that. And for me, I'm afraid to say this, but just having fun. Simple as that. And I think a lot of us are in that boat.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say my last, well, I don't really have a paycheck. I get like chunks, the way my business is set up. Um, I would say uh, business development, just setting up my business for longevity and legacy. Because that's really the um the sacred cow, that's where the money comes from. So feed the business, take care of the business, and then it will take care of us, with longevity and sustainability. So I would say that's probably, if you measured my last few chunks of income, that's where it is. But I love that you're having so much fun. I'm
Which,
inspired. I like to
you
have
know
fun.
what? But I realized that. So when you're talking about this, and when I say fun, it's not like what you typically think of fun, where you're going out, you're doing this and you do that. I actually, like you, it's been, for me, fun is nerding out on new tools and things for business and all that, because it's a learning thing for me. And it's when I talk about fun, is spending extra on a certain thing for what I'm doing, and all of that. So I love nerding out, and to me that's fun. Not necessarily going out there to dinners and all that good stuff. So thanks for bringing that up, because that's exactly what I was trying to get to as well.
Yeah, now that you said that, I thought fun, what is fun? We've got several trips coming up, like pretty fun travel. So I think if you ask this question a month from now, it'd be a very different answer. It's like, it's all about fun. It's about travel and trying new foods and going to new countries, all of that. So, but right
Absolutely.
now it's like I've been working on business things.
All right, folks, we are at the tail end of the show, and you know what that means. Challenge, challenge. I feel like we should have a little jingle or something.
Yeah, here's your challenge. And pen and paper is how I like to, challenge you. I think there's value to what's in your head goes from your eyes down your hands onto the paper. There's value to that. I would say before your next chunk of income comes in, before your next paycheck arrives, write down the job of that paycheck before it comes. Let's say you get paid on the 1st and the 15th, maybe around the 12th or so. Write down, what needs to happen? What are your priorities for allocating those dollars this month? What does the money need to do? What should this money do? What can this money do for fun? What can it do for debt? What can it do for current lifestyle? What are my priorities? And then compare your plan a month from now with what actually happens to those dollars. Did they obey you? Were they obedient to their role and actually do what they were supposed to do? Or did they not? And how can we help train them? Train these dollars to do what we need them to do to enhance our life and take our financial life to the next level at our house with our family. That's your challenge.
All right, folks, there is the challenge. If you have any questions, please let us know. Also, as a reminder, if you have any topics that we have not covered on this show and you'd like Judy to address, please shoot us a message and we'll love to address it on there. Remember, we are here every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. with the replays on Thursday at 8 p.m. Judy, any last parting words?
Make it a great week. Enjoy. Fall is coming. Enjoy.
All right, folks, until next time, take care and be safe.